In this video, we're going to show you how to build a Hugekulter garden, and we're going to start right now. What's going on, YouTube Gardener? It's your boy Sydney from the Nakid Gardener channel. In this video, we're going to show you how we built our Hugekulter garden raised bed, so that way if you're deciding to do it, there's something for you to watch. Now, we're going to take you on to the process of when we revamped our urban backyard garden from putting the rotted, decaying wood out into the raised bed, and then we're gonna show you how we put the leaves and the used coffee grounds on there to build up that bed to allow it to feed off of the decaying wood, and then cover it with soil, and then we put our plants in there. What this will do is allow us to not water as much. So we're trying out different experiments in each one of these beds. Each one of these beds has a different growing style, and I just want to try to see which growing method is best for us in North Texas during to this heat. Now let's get growing. All right, this is our test bed number 3. It is called the Hugekulter gardening method, which is a German word where they basically take old decaying wood and they mound over it, so that way once the wood decays and rots out, once it gets saturated with water, it's able to retain the moisture, and the plant's roots are able to go into that, and it's basically the wood is a sponge for it. Now, to do this, you need old decaying wood, at least a year to 3 years old. This wood has been chopped down from our oak tree here, from the tornado of 2015. December of 2015, and it's just been sitting here for about 4 years now. Normally we would put it in the fire pit and use the ash either in the compost or in the beds as a good potash fiber, or a nutrient I should say. But what we're going to do now is we added this wood in here. We're going to put these leaves that we got around from the neighborhood along with the coffee grounds we got from Starbucks in here, saturated, and add more of the soil that we got from the local nursery that provides mulch, dirt, topsoil, and sand. So now we're going to start filling this up. All right, so we got this bed all filled in. This is going to be our Hugekulter bed, and since it has a nice shadow during the evening shade and some during the morning time, we're going to put a lot of our brassicas, lettuce, kale, all those types of things in this bed that doesn't require a lot of sunlight and needs a lot of shade. So that way we can use the most out of this bed. Now, like I was saying earlier, you're going to need to wait for up to about anywhere from 1 to 2 years. I believe I was doing some research on these Hugekulter beds, and that way, once the wood starts decaying, it can start acting as a sponge, and the soil will basically take up all the water from the wood and use it up to giving out to the roots of each plant. Over here we have some peas, and throughout in the front we have some right here we have the butterhead lettuce, some romaine lettuce. Right there we have some red giant mustard. We got some freckled romaine lettuce back there, some radicchio, some eggplants that's going right through here, some carrots I just planted back there. I know it's kind of late, but I'm just trying this out. Look like our lavender is kind of sickly looking. It was kind of hot out, so we'll probably have to move that. Luckily, I haven't planted those yet. We're going to actually be planting those this weekend, depending on the weather. We got some onions back there. Even the rosemary right there kind of looks kind of sad. And but we got some peppers back there. Those are some sunbright that we got from Luke of M.I. Gardener. And that is what we're growing right now in there. We're going to possibly put a drip system in here just to start it off for the first year. Then after that, we probably shouldn't have to use it anymore. I'm going to put a control valve for each of the raised beds, so that way if one bed doesn't need the watering, we won't have to use that watering. But I know especially the tomatoes and the other two beds will need them because they are very heavy feeders, along with the squashes. This one is, like I said, it's lettuces, so we won't really need much from there. Like I said at the end of the video, we're going to show you the woods to use, or tell you some of the woods to use. I made this make-believe or makeshift wood pile rack here. I saw on Pinterest of just using 2 cinder blocks, some 2x4s, and just stack, kind of keep it off the ground to keep when it rains, keep the water from it. Try to keep it as dry as possible. Normally you would have like a little rooftop over there, but we didn't do that. We put most of this wood that was in here into the Hugekulter bed, however you say it. And most of this was from this tree. And I kinda got a little bit late to pruning it, what we wanted to do, but due to my arm, was cut a lot of these branches off and kind of raise it up. But now that it has been up in the mid 80s and hotter, you don't want to prune any of your trees, bushes, or any of that on them, because it will stress them out. You want to do it in the early spring or late fall. That way when they're in dormant, it doesn't stress them out as much. But this, from what we found out, was a oak tree, we believe, a white oak tree. But right, this branch and all of these branches we want to raise up So that way later on, all of this will be able to uh, get some sunlight through here. But the woods that you don't want to use is what's best wood to use for a hugelkultur bedding. From what I found out was alder trees, apple tree, aspen, birch, cottonwood, maple, oak, and willow. If you don't have that, you can also use a black cherry, cedar, which is also a repellent. Now it won't decay as fast, so you have to be careful of that. You got to put that at the bottom. Pine, red mulberry, and basically I think that was it. You can use a mixture of soft and hardwood. If you're doing that method, you want to put your softwood at the top and your hardwood at the bottom, for the simple fact that it will decay faster. The softwood would decay faster, and the hardwood would decay. It would take a longer time frame to decay. So that way, the softwood would feed off of, put the nitrogen into the ground, and the hardwood would decay longer, which would soak up more of the wood to feed to your beds. And from there, what you want to avoid if you're going to use a hugelkultur raised bed or a gardening method is you don't want to use black locust, black walnut, and redwood, for the simple fact that with redwood you got to be careful of that, because it may prevent you from your seeds to germinate. Now, we're not always on YouTube, so to interact with us more often, you can follow us on Instagram and our Twitter accounts. You can also join our Facebook page. That way we can interact with you daily. And as always, let's grow together.